Okay, any other questions? Hearing none. 50/50 MoDOT grants, what's going on there? That's Charles, oh, okay.
We have our highway widening of 100 out at Oldenburg Industrial Park, adding in the turn lanes out there. Environmental's all cleared, we're all ready to go. MoDOT's just working on review and then sending that off to the feds for federal obligation. They told us sometime in September we should be ready to bid that, so.
How's the pipeline going? How's that pipeline?
Pipeline should be wrapping up here, yeah, like another 2-3 weeks, they said. So, seems like they're making a lot of progress.
Yeah, yeah, wow, yeah,
Things are coming together out there.
you betcha. Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Moving on. Warren County.
Commissioner Gillhouse couldn't make it, but he's got physical therapy, so
Oh,
we'll
okay.
pass that along.
Teresa, do you have any additions to what you're doing over there?
Nothing really new to report. I think Commissioner Gildhouse did mention last month that MoDOT has narrowed the pool of applicants for the Wentzville to Warrenton I-70 widening project down to 3. And so there is no communication, no public communication of announcements of any kind until November to give those 3 companies an opportunity to prepare their bids. So they hope to let the bid out in November. So they are moving along with I-70 widening.
It's going to be amazing.
It-
The money
it's
that's
a-
being
It's a
spent
big
up-
project.
Yeah, it's a big project. You betcha. Teresa, anything regarding transportation for the handicapped, or what was that we were working on?
I saw that Taylor Miller was on the agenda, so I did not pull new numbers for public transportation to bring for you this morning, but just we continue to take calls through the Mo Rides program, and Franklin County continues to be one of our areas that we receive a lot of calls and inquiries from regarding transportation options.
So for people that aren't familiar with Teresa, Teresa does what East West Gateway does for us in Franklin County and the counties. Teresa basically is that person that does it for,
Boonslick
Boonslick
region,
Regional.
were Warren, Lincoln, and Montgomery counties.
you betcha. So she's got a lot on her plate, and
There's a lot going on in the region, so it's all good. It's all good news.
very good. Thank you, Teresa,
Thank
for
you.
coming. Washington Special Road District? Yes. We don't have
I
that.
saw where Bernie Westholter passed away,
Yeah, he's the,
and then who was the new member that they,
Wendell.
Wendell? Okay.
Yeah, that's right, I forgot about him. See if we can get, who's gonna represent them. Old Highway 100 Bridge, anything new, Charles? I also, when I saw Tom Blair, I mentioned that to Tom Blair. Tom, just if you wanna, just start getting people thinking about where you could do some safety issues, take care of that bridge, see if you guys can work something out with the city or whatever, just mainly so the school buses and the fire department can get access easier. I don't know that I don't think they're using it, but they probably on occasions have to use it because of timing and whatever. So, we'll stay on top of that. Tom Blair is familiar with it, county's familiar with it, we're familiar with it. Hopefully there won't be any incidents and that bridge will continue to stand there until we can get it fixed. Charles, just out of curiosity, was there, or the city, Darren, did you guys have a plan of what you thought that bridge should be? Like with bike paths, or was it,
Well, it would be a standard, MoDOT would only build a standard bridge. If you want additional amenities like a pedestrian access, it'll cost. I mean, there's additional, they're not gonna provide that at that location, at least that's what they've told us
I
so
guess
far.
that's something that then the city would have to consider.
I
possible,
guess.
whatever.
yeah, The city would consider it, or
I don't know, I'm just throwing it out.
county, whatever.
Whoever, combination of everybody.
That's,
I understand, we know that very much, but they're gonna build the bridge that they wanna build unless they're told otherwise, and until there's support to do something better, and that's all I'm saying. If we've got an idea of what we think it ought to be, we gotta start talking about it. Just make the assumption that they're gonna take care of the bridge, they're gonna replace the bridge now, how would we like it to be? So that's where we come in. We're not gonna let go of the fact that it needs to be replaced. It's on their plate. They know it. And maybe they need to be pushed once in a while just to, what do we want? And I think, I don't know.
Well, Stephen O'Connor told us last time he was here, it's on the project list, it's theirs to address and be taken care of, so.
Construction
Now-
26?
Yeah, 26.
26.
Now it's a matter of,
I think I do agree with Bill, though, the point being that in 2 years, they're gonna build something out there, and if, that is at the end of our trail system right now. If we wanna do more biking out that way, I mean, Highway 100 looks like it's a spot where you would never put a bike on, but it's residential now. It's no longer Highway 100 like it used to be with people flying down the road. And they still fly down the road, but if we do want bikes, is there a master plan for the bike paths? Does it include that, or is it too far out there? In which case, we just say, no, we aren't gonna even consider it. So, but we won't have the option in 3 years of
That's
doing the
right.
same thing.
In short, let me just say this.
Yeah,
We will ask them to go ahead and figure out what it would cost to go ahead and put a pedestrian component to the bridge design. Find out what that would be, then we can make a
there
decision
you
on
go.
it.
That's a good place to start.
That sounds
That's
perfect.
exactly. Thank you.
might be a good qualifier for additional funding match type thing too.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, because we've got safety, and we've got school buses, and we've got fire equipment, there's got to be a safety contingent in here somewhere that
Well, if
could help us get the grant.
mitigation of pollution, Bill, if you get people walking and promoting the foot and pedal, then you're mitigating pollution from the exhaust pipe.
I,
That's gonna give you more money for your project.
I don't know how that works, but
It's equity in infrastructure, as I'm told.
That's our area of growth, guys. We need to
Yeah.
think long-term.
I think on the map of the city of Washington that was handed out, the future growth, that roadway, old Highway 100 became the boundary line, became the boundary of the city limits of Washington in the future. So everything south, I guess, of that.
You got a lot larger area.
Yeah.
Not just old 100 going north, but all the way down to New 100.
Yep. So. Anything else on that old bridge? Hearing none, the airport.
The only thing, we did award a contract, we're waiting for MoDOT approval to do the emergency repairs on the taxiway. I think that bid came in at like 52,000. We're still waiting on MoDOT, I think, for something to go ahead and give us. I don't know if Charles was in that loop. I think I was the only one that got. So CMT's waiting for that. And then, but that project should only take, they said at the most, 7 days is what they'll give them to go ahead and complete those repairs. In addition to that, we're still working with MoDOT, are working with MoDOT and CMT to go ahead and start the design for the $3 million improvement that we'd like to see over there that includes expansion of the runway. Extension, I should say, not expansion, because unfortunately, that's where the money comes in. And so extension of the runway, trying to go anywhere between 300 to 400 feet. So they are starting the environmental portion of that. That's what we awarded a contract for. They hope to go ahead and do design. We got an update from CMT last week. They hope to go ahead and do design over the winter, and then in the spring, hopefully sometime, to go ahead and possibly go out for bids.
Oh,
And we'll have several alternates on there too as well, to go ahead and see what options we've got.
Good. Good to see that.
So,
And that was from the frost heave?
oh yeah, correct. Yeah, the emergency repairs, yes.
Any questions, comments? Airport? Hearing none. Team
I
track?
guess it was not frost heave. Let me clarify, that was heat heave, I guess. Expand,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Team track, anything new on the team track?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. East-West Parkway? Nothing new, other than we're in it, right? Butted up to against, and building is happening on either end of it, correct? Public transportation, Teresa usually takes care of that, and she's already,
Taylor?
oh, we got a new person. Good, Sue. Hey, introduce yourself, please.
Hello. So, I actually came prepared this time with a speech instead of last time.
Okay.
So, hello. My name is Taylor Miller, and I'm here to represent Jefferson Franklin Community Action Corporation. We have a program called EasyMo Transportation. I spoke in front of you in May 2024, and today I'm here to provide some updates since that time, and an ask today. As a reminder, the Jefferson Franklin Community Action Corporation EasyMo's public transportation service is a volunteer driver-based, on-demand, free ride program that serves residents of Jefferson and Franklin County. EasyMo was established to address the persistent community need for reliable and individual transportation. By delivering transportation to our residents, EasyMo is allowing access to critical services such as healthcare, employment opportunities, education, and food access, along with community resources. EasyMo is helping to build a bridge to significant gaps in transportation accessibility in our county. When I addressed this committee in May of 2024, I shared some of the key milestones from our program's first year of operation. At that time, we had achieved the following. Total miles driven was 118,939 miles. Standing before you today, we have driven 207,470 miles. In May, we had given 2,683 rides. Today, standing before you, we've given 4,571 rides. I know that last time I was asked about an average per week of what we were doing in terms of trips. Per week, at that time, at the last full week of May, we were doing 133 rides. And just to kind of give you an idea of growth, the last full week of July, we were operating at 344 rides per week, and we are continuing to grow daily. You may be asking, these are volunteers, what do they get by giving their time back to the community? They are reimbursed at the IRS rate of 67 cents per mile, and we just want to remind you that these are local community members that are giving their time. So by the time we hit our 1-year program mark in May of 2024, we had reimbursed $139,004.90 to local community members. Standing before you today, at the end of July, we had put back into the community in Franklin County alone, because I know that a lot of the times we get asked what's the difference between the two counties. Of that $139,000 to Franklin County, we gave $29,851.85. And that money goes directly back into Franklin community, because by giving it to local community members, those community members are putting it back into your stores, your gas stations, and other places like that. I just want to give you an idea that today, in order to keep operating, I have an ask not only of the council, but of the people here in attendance today. We would like to ask for your help in continuing to spread awareness. Franklin County is not doing as much in competitive to Jefferson County, and we think that's because there's a lack of awareness of the program. So we ask that if you can, I would like to give you all flyers before I leave today, because we would like to continue to spread the word that we're here in our community to give free transportation. We also ask that we need more volunteers, because in order to give more rides, we need more volunteers. As of today, we have over 41 active volunteers between both counties. I would like to ask today that you continue to ask that we recruit more volunteers from Franklin County. Because of those 41 active volunteers, do you have a guess of how many are from Franklin County? Come on, let me hear you.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to ask a question, but go ahead.
Just take a guess.
I heard 10.
Lower. Of 41 volunteers, all of which are willing to come out to Franklin County though, but of 41 volunteers, six of those individuals are from Franklin County. So in order to continue to spread our funding further, we need to continue to recruit local volunteers, because right now we're reimbursing Jefferson County drivers to come into Franklin. And a lot of the times, and I can tell you from personal experience, the drivers are being reimbursed. Just literally from yesterday, I can tell you, we had a driver who drove 80 miles one way to pick up the client to go 3 miles down the road. And we reimburse our drivers end to end, which means that they get reimbursed whether somebody's in that vehicle or not. So that's something to keep in mind. So in order to keep spreading that funding, we need to continue to recruit local volunteers. And then that brings me to my last ask. In order to continue delivering free transportation to Franklin County residents, I just ask if you have leads on any funding sources that you send them to me, Taylor Miller. We need to continue to gain funding resources by saying that we have current funding that's here to stay, but we need to continue to add to that bottom dollar in order to keep growing the program.
How are you funded now?
Yeah, so we're funded by a couple of different resources. We have the Community Service Block Grant, which is federal dollars. That is our big bucket of money that we have, as well as we were just awarded in, I'm trying to think of what the House bill was that just went through, but there were 3 entities on that House bill that went through, and there were some funding. It was under the West Central dollars, and we were given a portion of that money as well. And then, so we're constantly going after like state and federal dollars. So that's a portion of it. Then we have local foundations that we apply to and we've been awarded for, and we're continuing, but those are typically smaller buckets, like 50,000 and less. And then we have donations that we take from public members that can be on our website, www.jfcac.org/donate, if anybody wants to do that. So we take all sorts of funding opportunities. So if you want to give me $5, I'll take it too.
Taylor, where's your office?
We are located in St. Clair, Missouri.
St. Clair? Okay.
So you've been in Franklin County, but you do more in Jefferson, so,
Right. But we want to match that.
yeah.
So, and then we also, just as a heads up, I talked about that money that we put back into Jefferson and Franklin counties, and I gave you a dollar amount for just Franklin County, but we're also committed to growing job opportunities in Franklin County as well. So we have 4 full-time staff members. One of those 4 full-time staff members is from Franklin County, and we also on our website just posted a full-time dispatcher for ride coordination, and that is going to also be based out of our St. Clair office. So we want to have another Franklin County resident become a full-time staff member of JFCAC, because while the volunteering is important and that money does go back into the community, we also want to create job opportunities in Franklin County as well. So having a full-time dispatcher here that also knows the community a little bit better, I think would also help in that recruitment as well.
Wow, you've got a full plate.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of quick questions. What are the driver qualifications? In other words, what does the driver have to do if they want to volunteer with you?
CDL.
They don't have to have a CDL. So because these are volunteers and not paid drivers, they do not have to have a special driver's license. They just have to have the state minimum insurance on their own vehicles because they do drive their own vehicles. We run a 3-part background check. That background check is their just safety background check, their driving record, and then we ask for what's called a character reference, and that is somebody that is in their personal life that has to say that, yes, I know this person, and this person is committed to giving back and making a difference in their community, because you're seeing all sorts of individuals get in the back or front seat of your car, and we just want to make sure these people that are driving people around are empathetic to what may be going on in that individual's life, because they don't know who's getting into their passenger seat or the back seat of their car. So those are just some important factors, along with the safety of the rider, because we want to make sure that this person hasn't been convicted of like DUIs, driving under the influence, anything like that. Driving while intoxicated, those are some like life bans. It doesn't matter how long ago you got them, we will disqualify you from the program. But I mean, on your driving record, as long as you haven't been found guilty of anything in the last year, we're willing to talk through things, because we're willing to understand that the person you were a year ago may not be the person you are today. So aside just from some safety things, we just ask that we would say that if you're wanting to apply, you can either do it on our website, you could come up and talk to me, or our main 877 number, you can go and call it, and somebody who answers the phone can actually walk you through the application over the phone. So there's a few different ways you can go about applying to be a driver. And again, those drivers are reimbursed at the IRS rate, which means that because we're reimbursing at the IRS rate, they do not have to claim taxes on the income that they receive from this program.
Do you track the nature of those rides that people are getting? Are they primarily healthcare or grocery or job related?
I'm glad you asked that question because we do ask that. So we break it down all the way to dental, vision, medical, behavioral health, and then we have substance recovery programs that people use this program for, food access, there's employment opportunities, educational opportunities. I mean, there's so many other things that I could go into this. We do have an other category because as much as we try to break down that data, there's just always going to be like post office visits. I don't have a way to track really other than just saying other. So we have an others category. For our program overall, employment is the #1 use of our program. So people getting to and from work or trying to do job searches, which is like going on interviews. We've had a few people use a resource where they actually get to go and do job skill training. So we include that under employment opportunities as well because they're getting a certificate to get into a work field. So we do that under employment instead of education. So employment for the overall program is #1. For Franklin County, up until June of 2024, medical use was for the #1, and then in July, it did make the switch to employment as well. So employment is the #1 program used for at this time.
Taylor, do your riders, are they charged a nominal fee or is it free?
It is a free transportation program.
Goodness gracious.
What if the riders want to offer a tip? I mean, we're in a tip society, and I never know how much to tip, so I think about that. If they get a tip, do the drivers keep it, or do they turn it into you as a donation, or how does that
The
work?
drivers are not allowed to accept tips, as it does switch them from being technically a volunteer to a paid status. So our drivers will never take your money. They will tell you if you want to make a donation, you can go to www.jfcac.org/donate. We have had a very few instances where the client has left like a few dollars or something like in their seat or something like, haha, you can't give it back to me because I'm getting out of your car. And the drivers immediately drive it back to, because when you talk about, we have some drivers that are clearing $1,200 a week, and that is a good chunk of change to have to claim on your taxes because you accepted a $5 tip. So a lot of the times those drivers are like, take this away from me, I don't want it. So that is a big difference. So you again can donate to us, and we will take that tip if you want to take it, if you want to give one, and we will put it right back into the program. We do not keep any of that money.
Very good.
If I may.
Yes.
I just want, give a tip of the hat to Taylor. She gave a presentation at the county, and I was like, you know what, this is a perfect resource for all of our, and most of the business is Jeffco because they're 245,000, we're 105,000. So you go where the people are, right? But when I heard about the program, got exposed to it, it's just a no-brainer. And the stats, the demographics are so valuable in that will help us coordinate something, not next year, not the year after, but, the next decade or so relative to public transportation. So we know what the use is, we know what the need is, and it's not gonna slack off in terms of the medical facility need to get to and from. So hats off, Taylor, and thanks for coming, and you really do a good job. Keep up the good work.
So since you wanted to know some stats for Franklin County, Franklin County specific stats is that as of July 31st, in Franklin County, we've done 44,555 rides. Just to kind of give you an idea, but I do want to just remind people that number, a big chunk of that number, literally came in the last 3 months. So from May, what is that, May, June, July, yeah, May to July. So when I tell you probably half of that number, like, I don't know what we did in May that was just like, we know about that program, but we're increasing, again, just in Franklin County, these are just Franklin County stats, 22% in ridership each month to month, going over the last 3 months. So if we continue to go up in that intake line, we're gonna need more drivers local to Franklin County, because Jefferson County does do a lot, but Franklin County's not slowing down either. So, and the more that people know about this program, the more people are gonna use it. So, and like I said, medical was the #1 for a really long time out here, but they've made the switch to employment, which just shows a hats off to Franklin County that says that these people wanna get out and they wanna work, they just need a way to get there. So we're here to help make that happen.
Taylor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we've had public transportation on my agenda here for as long as I can remember, and we've always thought there was an absolute need. Now we found the person that has found out a way to provide it.
Yeah.
And you'll be sending I'd like to put her on our agenda as a permanent report. So if you would like that, and then you can bring information as you get it,
Yeah.
that's what's going on.
Well,
We'd
we
love to have
track
the
all
information.
these data points monthly, so I would absolutely be happy to come back and give a monthly report, absolutely. I just wanna let you guys, and hopefully soon you'll be able to have somebody right here from Franklin County come do those things, but, I am from Jefferson County, so I apologize a little late tonight. But, you know, I'm here and I'm happy to be involved, but I also do wanna say public transportation, you guys do have some options out here, one of which is Oats.
Yes.
Better keep it quiet back there, guys. One of which is Oats, but we actually have an MOA with you, too many acronyms. We have an MOA with Oats, which just says that if they can't deliver a ride, they refer all of those overflow clients to us, and we try to get those trips. So hopefully we'll be able to start giving you data points as well here shortly about where these clients are coming from, like who's referring to us, so then that way you can kind of get an idea of what entities or what agencies in your county have a need for transportation to get their clients to them as well. So, but Oats is another public transportation option, and hopefully I can maybe help give some insight on them too, as we just created an MOA with them, so,
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
absolutely. Well,
Any
thank you
questions?
guys.
Anybody? Questions for her?
No,
Thank you.
look forward to seeing you next month.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
I'm in.
jfcac.org/donate, yes.
We got it.
Thanks, Tim.
Any other business that we have to go over that you can think of? Anybody?
I just wanted to mention that, I think we talked about this last month, that the highway commissioners will be here in October. Their meeting is October the 2nd, so they will be coming in on October the 1st. And there will be a reception, 5 o'clock-ish, that after, on the 1st. It's not going to be a dinner this time, it'll just be kind of a cocktail reception. And then they'll be on their own for their dinner. But the meeting will be then on the 2nd. So Eileen is getting the invitation together, and it's looking good. So anyway, but you'll be hearing about it, but it would be too late for me to tell you that next month.
And that
So-
meeting is here in this room?
Yeah, the meeting will be here in this room, on the 2nd.
You know, there's a lot of planning that has to go into this to bring the commission here. I mean, they've got securities and all kinds of other things that they have to, that goes along with them and their staffs, and they need separate meeting rooms, I think, at times. Sandy, you handled that pretty much, I think, when you were mayor.
Yeah,
And just,
Eileen doing a really
I-
good job,
I-
so, yeah, Eileen
but there is
is
a lot of
handling
planning that
it.
has to go along with it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Governor just, you know, the commission just doesn't show up, and, you know.
Well, and they have wants,
Yeah.
that are
Yeah,
different
they-
than
yes.
our wants, and,
And I think we
you know,
had
things like
baskets
that.
for them or something that we provided.
Yeah, we'll figure out
baskets or
something, so.
Like that. Anyway,
Mhm. Yeah.
very good. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
Everybody should be receiving their invitations pretty soon. Gang, this is a great opportunity for us. We've got a request, which I think they have granted, to listen to us for 10 minutes. And hopefully that will generate a bunch of questions, but if you're interested in hearing what our plan is, please let us know.
We can preview that at the next meeting prior to
That would be good.
the second.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yes. Very good. Again, anybody, anything else? Anything new, whatever? Hearing none, I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Just came across. Thank you.
Sure.
It's an interesting name,
Yeah.
golly.
Cramp.
That was a good report. You said a lot. I
Yeah.
look forward to reading it in the minutes.
Cryan,
That's all I get.
Cryan Camp, is that?
I was gonna say, that's where our big minutes come from.
I mean, that's
3
really
pages on
great.
Amtrak.
So I met with, we talked, so that presentation sparked another
Was I not here?
which is good.
Gosh, I guess I don't